fantastic pool in his first round match. And if he played like that and wasn't breaking well, Shane is one of the best breakers in pool. Imagine what it would be like if he finds the measure of the break. He'll be unstoppable. Oh, the 9-ball went towards the side pocket, but a dry break for Shane Van Boening, so he cannot find a ball down. So David Alcaid will get a first look here, but no clear shot on the 1-ball.
Whole succession of dry breaks in the previous match, so maybe it's just carrying on from there. The break actually proving a conundrum for everyone involved in the tournament.
But when you have traditional triangles used to rack the balls, no rack is ever the same. If you use some of these templates that you see a lot in pool. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Great way to start. You know, when they rack the balls, there's, oh, here you see a replay of that. Nicely done. And a shot on the 2. Not an easy shot.
Extension called.
Interestingly, Van Boening saying he didn't break well in the first round. When he did make a ball on the break, he ran out all 3 times.
Terrific start here for David Alcaid.
Well, a jump followed by a bank, and now suddenly, look at this, the rack is wide open for him. Well, Ted, sending out a message here.
This is the very definition of coming out firing. So already David Alcaid moving purposefully around the table. He's already in stroke, Phil.
Well, this is really Goliath against David. And David has made a better start. In fact, you couldn't wish for a better start than that. A really good jump to start things off, then the bank, and a flawless run out. Spain 1, USA 0. He's known as El Matador, fearless. His major playground is the Euro Tour, and he's reached 11 semi-finals on that tour. His most recent victory was the Treviso Open in Italy, and last year he won the European 10-ball championship.
So we were talking about the break shot earlier. It's not just about, you know, how hard you hit it or exactly where on the 1-ball you hit it. You'll always notice a lot of the players, they will look at the rack.
Do the second rack. David Alcaid to break, leading 1 rack to 0.
And they will study to see if the rack has any gaps in it. A guy like Shane, he's a real student of that. He knows if he sees gaps in certain parts of the rack, he'll know how to hit it. He'll adjust the way he breaks to what he sees when they rack the ball. So for Shane Van Boening, it's a real science. There you see David Alcaid didn't even check the rack. He just got up and hit it. Worked out well for him too.
It did indeed. 2 ball in. A straightforward pot on the 1. The 3 ball next is in the open. Can't wish for much better.
David Alcaid's come out of here with a laser-like focus. Reminds me a bit of Omar Al-Shaheen in our first match of this evening session.
Yes, and not the first time he's made a lightning start in this tournament. In the first round last night, he was 3-0 ahead of Ralph Souquet, putting immediate pressure on one of the giants of the game, and that's what he's doing here. The 8 and the 9, just bread and butter pots.
Well, David Alcaid doesn't even let Shane Van Boening out of his chair there. And the fans here loving it. 2-0 for the Spaniard over the American. So Shane is going to be in for a real battle here tonight, trying to become the first to ever win 3 in a row. Well, he became the first to win 2 in a row in the Whirlpool Masters. Nobody had ever done that before Shane Van Boening.
Yes, and interestingly, to win both of those titles in the final, he overcame European opposition. In 2014 in Nottingham, England, he defeated Nikos Economopoulos from Greece 8-2. And then in Manchester in 2015, the last staging of this tournament, he beat Darren Appleton 8-2.
Nothing down, but no clear shot on the 1 for Shane. Unless he decides for a combination. Looking at the 1-3.
Can't imagine he'll refuse this.
He's definitely down on it, and he is going to go for it. Nicely done. And position on the one.
Enough angle on the one to punch the cue ball off the side cushion for the two. Well, he came down to see whether the 4 ball would squeeze past the 9. Clearly it didn't, because he wouldn't have played on this side of the table with the cue ball had it done so.
Well, it doesn't take Shane Van Boening long to warm up, does it? And that's because he's the 2-time defending champion. And I know Shane. U.S. Open, he's won 5 times. Every time he goes into that tournament, he just tells himself, I'm going to win this thing. Confidence is a wonderful thing, and he's got truckloads of it. And this is an event that he also has an amazing amount of confidence in. He feels he owns it.
Doesn't own the cue ball in this break, though. Just slight misjudgments. That said, the green 6 shouldn't be a problem, but just a grain of pressure on this. Should be out of the woods now.
Good look there at how low he hits the ball and the English he puts on it.
You know, that was not just about winning a rack, it was about winning it in convincing fashion, and Shane Van Boening is on the board, trailing now 2-1.
The ATP Tour on Sky Sports Mix. Available to all Sky TV customers at no extra cost.
Marathon Bet gets you closer to the action with multiple markets and consistently good odds. All on your mobile. Marathon Bet. Every bet, everywhere.
from office 10 a.m. meeting has moved. Sending new route.
They call it. Big records.
Right, people, we're selling the house. We're moving on.
We're the village people. We can't move on.
I booked a valuation with Yopa, and they're going to give me a call.
Struggling to move on?
Hello, this is a village person.
Yopa will help sell your home quickly.
That's
Be on
nice.
call 24/7 and ease you through the whole process.
See you tomorrow. Thanks.
Yopa. How do you spell that?
No, stop it. It's not YOPA, it's Yopa. Local agents, low fee, complete control. Book a free valuation at yopa.co.uk.
Life. Sometimes you're in credit. Sometimes things are a bit tight. And the assets you have can't always be counted or cashed in. Prosperity isn't always measured with a decimal point or a figure on a screen. Prosperity is finding what you want in life. And with preferential deals for our 5 million 123 World customers, we're here to help you prosper. Santander.
Welcome back, everyone, to the first quarter-final in this Dapperbet Whirlpool Masters. The first round completed this evening with the victories for Omar Al-Shaheen and Chang Junlin. Now, the first quarter-finals underway. Shane van Boening is breaking off in rack 4, facing a 2-1 deficit, but it was 2-0 to David Alcaid, who came out of the traps flying.
This is interesting. He's breaking from the middle of the table. This is the first we've seen anybody do this. You hardly ever see this in 9-ball now. Why would he do that? Again, this goes back to that thing with Shane, that he's a student of the break. He looked at the rack, and if he sees certain gaps in certain areas of the rack, he'll adjust where he hits the ball, places the cue ball. Not many players do that.
So it's a surefire 1-5 combination. The one remains over the pocket. As you can see, 2 and 3 in the open. Looking good to equalise.
And this is what makes one of the reasons, not all, but one of the reasons that makes Shane so dangerous is his knowledge of the break and the physics of where the balls are going to be going depending on where you put that cue ball.
Now the 3-ball looks as simple as you like, but you have to respect these middle pockets. No room for inaccuracy.
Well, if he continues to break like this, he could be looking at a third straight World Pool Masters Championship.
I must say, I love watching him play.
Yeah, he's got a marvelous stroke. And Shane practices more than any player out there, I think. He's first to arrive at the practice room, last to leave. This 9-ball tied at 2 apiece. Van Boening and Alcaid race to 8, winner breaks. Let's have a look again now at how he approaches the break shot.
It's such a vital component to the game. It really is, even for the very best.
And the key is, normally Shane, after the referee racks the balls, will come down and take a look at how they've been racked. And he's actually looking for the gaps that appear occasionally between the balls. It's very hard when you hand rack the balls. Here we go. He's going to look. And if he sees something recognizable, then
Cue rack 5.
he will decide where to place the cue ball.
Shane Van Boening to break. 2 racks each.
Now here he goes again. He's the only player we've seen do this. This is what makes him so dangerous. He knows things that others don't. But in this case, nothing down, and he's left an open table for David.
You saw him buckle the knees there, trying to make body language get the 6 in. Didn't work. The 6 wasn't listening. But that was an unwanted collision with the 8, and a look at the distance now between cue ball and the red 3 ball. Of course it will go, no doubt about it. But this is a test of composure and technique.
But will he get safe? I don't think so.
Well, he caught the 3 ball so thick.
Extension call.
And now, look at this table. It's saying, please clear me. Comes from a pool dynasty on his maternal family side. His grandmother, Jean Bloomberg, a national champion. His mother, Timmy Bloomberg, the same. His aunt, Gary Joe Bloomberg. Guess what? A national champion. And his grandfather, Gary Bloomberg, a renowned trick shot artist. Shane, though, not just upholding the family tradition, bolstering it. Arguably the best in the world. And it's a powerful argument as well. He was 2-0 down to David Alcaid. He now leads 3-2.
3 in a row. And in that rack, he broke dry, but Alcaid left himself with poor position and had to give up the table. Now, when he gets a ball down or several balls, Shane's unstoppable. And he loves this format, the winner breaks format. There are many tournaments around the world where the format is alternate break. And here you go, see Shane inspecting the rack. And he adjusts accordingly. Now here you go. You see he moves the cue ball to a different position. Well, it doesn't always work out, but he really is one of the best at that break shot.
Which underlines just how difficult this table is breaking. Not just for him, but for pretty much everyone.
And of course, the balls are flying all over the place, and there's a lot of variables there. But when you're talking about percentages, that knowledge that he has, and there's not many players who have that kind of knowledge, who have studied it to the depth that Shane Van Boening has. The percentages are in his favor, and it's been proven with all the proven successful because he's been so successful in tournament play. Oh, and he very nearly scratched there.
This cue ball did all kinds of things. Look at this. In fact, it did everything but drop.
Extension call.
Not ideal.
And essentially, they've got a line of 3 balls to hide behind. Didn't hide behind any ball in the end. And against someone of Van Boning's class, you can't afford to not be at your best with the safeties.
Extension call.
So, Ted, we're on the 2 ball in rack number 6, and already both players have taken their extension.
Oh, look at that shot. Very nice.
Well, at the risk of overusing your phrase, Ted, it's a wall of
balls. Wall of ball. You got to have that southern sort of Texas accent when you say it. Wall of balls. Nice out. Well, that's a big miss right there, Phil.
Yes, I think as soon as he made contact, he realised what he'd done. You get the feeling this is a massive rack for Alcaid.
Yeah, and still a lot of work left. Sensational pot there. Right in the heart of the pocket. And the cue ball coming around the 4 and the 7, setting himself up for position on that pink 4.
Well, now from here, the hard work looks to have been done. David Alcaid was the first player ever from Spain to represent Europe in the Mosconi Cup 11 years ago now. I know a burning ambition of his is to get back on the team at some point. And if you've got a World Pool Masters title on your record, that helps greatly.
Yeah, that would go a long way to getting him back on that Mosconi Cup team. Scheduled for December later this year in Las Vegas.
A really good response this after losing the previous 3 racks. He's not going to lose this one. Shane van Boening had the first opportunity, but he overcut the 2 ball and in went Alcaid. A really good run out. We are all level at 3-3.
This month's must-see shows on Sky Box Sets.
Can I get a kid's meal?
Well, only a kid can order a kid's meal.
You know, this is ridiculous, okay? Can I just please get a kid's meal? Can I get a cup for water?
Sure.
Gonna deal with this as a family.
This is business, Anthony. There's a limit, Phil.
We got a product the fellas gotta have. Everything you see here, it's mine.
Every episode of these shows and hundreds more available now on Sky Box Sets.
Meet the new Ford Cougar. How cougar are you?
Hello?
It's Flavor calling, Gary. No wisp of a crisp for you. You chose new McCoy's Thick Cut Crisps. This means you have a brain. Using your brain takes guts. Guts that know flavor when they see it. Gutsy brain, Gary. New McCoy's Thick Cut.
With Expedia, you can book your flights, hotel, car hire, and activities all in one place.
At all protected.
I am to be the last Viceroy of India, and I shall carry out the role with great pride.
The incredible true story of the end of an empire and the birth of 2 nations.
India is a ship on fire.
We came to give India back her freedom, not to tear her apart.
Viceroy's House, in cinemas 3rd of March.
Right now, the world's looking for UK
suppliers of fashion and textiles.
Water sports equipment.
Console games. Rail construction projects.
Food and drink.
In Norway,
Thailand. Lithuania. Kenya.
France. The opportunities for UK businesses
Are enormous.
So come on.
Why not open your doors to 7 billion potential customers?
The planet needs the UK's expertise.
The demand
Is out here.
Here.
Here?
You should be too.
Everything's fallen into place for Shane Van Boening, and he's only the 4th player in the history of this tournament to win this title on more than one occasion. But he's the first to successfully defend. Congratulations to SVB. Now for him, 3 is the number. He wants
Thank
3
you,
titles on the
7.
trot, and in this
David
match,
Alcaid to break.
it is 3-3.
righties.
He's all locked together with David Alcaid.
One ball on the side. You can see the 2, but no clear pocket. Just put on an extender on his cue so he can reach this.
Yes, a very common occurrence in snooker, not so in pool. Tell you what, Ted, Alcaid is offering stern opposition at the moment.
As you would expect. He's a battler. Always has been.
Extension call.
Shane's going to jump.
Brendan Moore was in good position there. For an instant, I wondered whether he'd made contact with a 3 first, but he most certainly didn't. And all in all, the outcome from Van Boening could have been worse.
Called.
Could have been worse. Oh, well done.
Yes. That requires a very delicate touch. It's not just about making the ball. It's about getting position on the next ball.
He absolutely pinged that particular shot to open up this run. You get the feeling this is the shot. Shape from 4 to 6, if he does that. regaining the lead shouldn't be a problem. If you think about it, you have to win 4 matches to win the World Pool Masters. Van Boening, therefore, including his first round victory here, has won 9 consecutive matches in this tournament. But is 10 out of 10 going to be a step too far?
He is in a real fight here. This one is going to go the distance, perhaps, because neither player giving an inch. Boy, some nice shooting here from David Alcaid to reclaim the lead. 2 in a row for the Spaniard. Crowd loving it. Shane will just have to wait. Winner breaks.
Van Boening nodded in appreciation because he knows that Alcaid is playing very well indeed. Okay, there have been a couple of mistakes from SVB, but he's played a reasonable match so far. It's not because he's made a boatload of unforced errors. It's more down to the fact that Alcaid's shot making has been good.
Any idea what Shane likes to do in his free time, especially in the winter months?
Well, you know, Alex Lely told me yesterday, actually, that ice fishing.
Ice fishing. Spends up to 8 hours a day. Brutal cold of South Dakota. Drilling holes in the ice. Catching fish. Oh, this time, the one didn't go, but the cue ball did. A scratch. But
start the clock, please.
The 2 and the 4 are stuck together. But it appears that the 2 will go no problem.
Now that's loose. That is loose.
Foul stroke.
Wow.
Ball in hand.
Surprising.
He is the great Shane Van Boening. When he was down on that shot, I was too frightened to say what I was thinking. I didn't think he could get through. And indeed, he caught the green first.
That's amazing that he was not able to see that. So that's a ball in hand situation. David Alcaid can place the ball anywhere on the table. Took the 2 out, and now it's on to the red 3. That's huge, Phil.
Well, I knew the positional shot initially from Van Boening was loose. But when he got down on the shot, I thought, well, what was all the worry about? But then looking down the shot, you think, well, hold on a minute. Is this viable? And it wasn't. David Alcaid is very experienced, 38 years of age. He's been around on the international pool scene for quite some time now. But deep down he must be getting very excited, sensing the possibility claiming a very notable scalp. Van Boening muttering away, isn't he, and shaking his head. No wonder, Ted.
Yeah. Well, he's biding his time, but there's not, these are short races. Not that much time. 5-3 now. 3 in a row for Alcaid. He was up 2-0, then it was 3 straight for Van Boening. Now 3 on the comeback for the Spaniard. This was the shot right here. Shane thought the 2 would go, but he misjudged the angle. He fouled. Alcaid clears, and Alcaid will be breaking once again.
Yes, just shaking his head. I think his problems began when, in the 6th rack, he was 3-2 ahead, remember? He overcut the 2 ball, which no one expected, and ever since it's been a little downhill for Van Boening. Time, of course, to turn the tide. But Alcaid at the moment is the man with the momentum.
And just as you say that, a dry break.
For a while it looked as though the 1 ball was going to be left, but the 7 has partially blocked it. No way through to the potting angle. Well, I said there was no way through. When I saw the shot originally, just couldn't imagine he could knock that in, and he hit it too thick, which would suggest he didn't want to risk making contact with the 7.
Yeah, he was thinking about the 6 ball again. The previous rack. So Shane a little bit shaken by the foul shot.
And look at this table again, all there for Alcaid. No clusters, no awkward balls. Just a gilt-edged chance to double up on Van Boening and make it 6-3.
And I think it's fair to say that Shane's a bit rattled at this point. This is something we really haven't seen too much of him in the last few years in this event.
Extension call.
Well, you see him point the cue stick. That's where he wants to bring the cue ball after potting the pink 4. Right there. quite the shot maker, isn't he? Very confident moving that cue ball around the table.
At the moment, the rain from Spain is falling mainly on Shane Van Boening. He's under a cloud.
Shane's a pretty low-key guy, but he is absolutely stewing in his chair, disgusted with himself.
And that's a quality quartet of racks from the cue of David Alcaid. He was 3-2 down. Now look at this scoreline. He's 6-3 up.
Getting knocked clean out.
Come on, let's do it.
Harry, one day your luck is gonna run out.
Where did you get that?
Same as you, I imagine. Oh, Harry. We're going to have such fun.
You can't put a valuation on time with a family. Our new online mortgage application is simple to use and could take less than an hour, so you can get back to the things and people you love. Apply for a mortgage online or pop into branch for advice. Here to help you prosper. Santander.
Oh, shocker of a late goal. Cammy, unlucky, mate. And your ACCA was in great shape. But luckily, Ladbrokes now gives you unbelievable 5-team ACCA insurance.
Really? How does that work?
It's simple. When one team lets you down on ACCAs of 5 teams or more, you get your money back as a free bet. Unbelievable! Unbelievable 5-team ACCA insurance with Ladbrokes.
Imagine this fantastic website that compares all sorts, not just insurance.
All sorts? Fantastic, Skipper.
Stuff like broadband.
Broadband?
Savings. Energy. Or flights.
Flights? Fantastic idea, Skip.
Go compare. You're quite right, there's nothing quite like Go Compare. When you want to save, it should be your favorite. GoCompare.com is right up there. Yeah!
Come boys, let's go. Buddy, leave it now, leave it. Here we go, everyone.
Here in Gibraltar, the big question is the defending champion at the Dafabet Whirlpool Masters about to be toppled. Well, the scoreline would say Shane Van Boening is extremely vulnerable. He's 6-3 down to David Alcaid. Earlier this evening, first round victories for Kuwait's Omar Al Shaheen and from Chinese Taipei, Chang Junlin.
Thank you, rack 10. David Alcaid to break, leading 6 racks to 3.
He leads 6-3, but he hasn't been breaking that well. Perhaps he's due for a good break shot. He's changed his position, trying to stir up something positive here. He gets the 1 ball down. And he can see the 2. If he goes for it, it's going to be a thin cut.
If he doesn't fancy the thin cut, the snooker in behind the 9, an obvious possibility.
That's what he's apparently going to do. Oh, look at that shot. Highlight reel.
Screwing back off the 2, he fooled us both. We thought he was going for the containment. He went for the quick kill. 2-9, all is fine for David Alcaid at least, but not for the title holder. Shane Van Boening in a heap of trouble. He trails 7-3.
Very creative from David Alcaid. It was great the way he did that, Phil, by screwing it back. That is real artistry right there.
Yes,
11.
dug deep into the cue ball. It bit on the cloth, and
7 racks to
he got the desired result. Oh, the 1's in, the 2's on, the 3's over a pocket. Is Shane Van Boening's hold on this trophy about to be loosened?
Well, he's got to develop the green 6 unless somehow he can take it into the opposite corner or break up the cluster. But let's see if he tries to develop that 6.
Stop the clock, please. Start the clock, please.
Some disturbance there. That's why the clock was stopped by the referee, Brendan Moore. Now the time is ticking down again.
Phil, you know, if he can get out here, this is going to be a very satisfying win for David Alcaid.
Well, he could certainly try and develop the 6 and the 9 here, knowing full well he's going to drop on the easy 4 over the middle.
Extension call. Extension call. Thank you.
Precision pull.
The writing is most certainly on the wall. And it says in big letters, defending champion goes home.
And yes, Shane Van Boening, a few errors, giving a few racks to the Spaniard, but take nothing away, absolutely nothing. David Alcaid has played marvelously here tonight.
Concur with that wholeheartedly. Remember, Shane Van Boening has won 9 consecutive matches in this tournament against world-class opposition all the way. But that winning streak almost certainly now is not going to be extended into double figures. 2 balls away from reaching the winning line with a run of 6 consecutive racks. Bear in mind, Van Boening led 3-2.
Wonderful victory for David Alcaid. Great performance.
Wasn't it just, Ted? Yes. It's not going to be King Shane III. In fact, the king is dead, and that's because David was dynamic. Alcaid wins by 8 racks to 3.
And a huge celebration here in the stadium in Gibraltar as well. What a win for David Alcaid, knocking out the defending champion, knocking out the 2-time champion as well. Brilliant performance from him, and he's the first man in the semi-finals. He'll be playing the winner of Ocean and Oi tomorrow. All these other quarterfinals taking place tomorrow, and we'll look forward to seeing them. But David Alcaid has joined me now. We've had to tear him away from his mates. Congratulations, David. How did it feel to knock out the defending champion and in front of all your friends as well?
I know everybody know who is Shane. I need play 100%. I think I missed one position and one ball. The other, I think I play perfect. When I break 1 or 2 times, not make the ball, he not look the one ball. I have a little lucky, but I need for when you win to Shane.
Absolutely, yeah, a little bit of luck, but you played so well, and I can tell the adrenaline is going now. Do you think you could win this tournament now? You're through to the semi-finals, and you're obviously in brilliant form.
I don't think it's very possible win to the tournament. I try and win the semi-final. I hope win the semi-final. I like say, Calvo, mañana te quiero aquí.
I think that was something about drinking tequila. David, thanks very much indeed. Congratulations. Maybe off for a tequila now. Who knows? Well done to David Alcaid. He's through. He's knocked out the defending champion. There will be a new champion crowned tomorrow. Join us from midday on Sky Sports 4 and from 5:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 1. We will see you then.